And welcome boys, it's me. I'm gonna show you today how to make the righteous pizza dough. First you need a pan or a tray. It's gonna go into the oven. I'm gonna use it for the dough making, then we're gonna clean it, and then we're gonna use it for the pizza making. Now, first thing you need, this is a Bulgarian cup, so I don't know, I think I read on Google it's 140 grams. I cannot give you an exact measurement because I do some of the things online. But you're gonna add flour, 1 cup. And a little bit more. I would say is between 1/5 or 1/4 of the cup more. So in total it should be around 160 and 70 grams of flour, if you want more exact. This is how much extra I added. I don't know if you can see well, but any questions so far? Now, second part, you're gonna add some salt on top of the flour. It's up to you, but I would say maybe half a teaspoon salt. Then you're gonna add a little bit of warm water. It doesn't need to be warm. You can go with cold, but and the amount of warm water is also very small. Well, this is the amount. I don't know if you can see, but it's pretty much 1/4, 1/5 of the cup again. And you might not even use it all. This is kind of like the amount you might need. Now, in the water, you're gonna put sugar, kind of the same amount, like half a teaspoon maybe. And this thingy, we call it mayak here, yeast, dry yeast, instant yeast. And it doesn't need to be much. This is how much I'm gonna add. It's like maybe 1/4 of a teaspoon. It's kind of hard to tell. I'm just doing it visually by memory for this amount. You put it in the water. Now you spin it a bit. Spin it a little bit in the water so the yeast dissolves in the water. And now you're gonna have to get your hands dirty. This is the difficult part. Now, I like to do it, just open in the middle of it and start putting water. But don't put all the water. Put maybe, like just put a little bit, mix it, then put more. Most of the times you're never gonna need to use all of the water. And while you're mixing it, at some point it's gonna start getting to where you want it to get. It might look weird now, but That happens when you do it by hand. It's gonna take some time. Usually it takes me around 10 minutes. So you're gonna need to get some bread on your fingers. I think this is still too dry. I still have more water with the yeast. I like to collect my stuff around from here, so it gets everything inside. Now, I would say maybe this is a little bit dry, but sometimes it's hard to tell until you really put your hands into it. I would say this needs a little bit more, just a little drizzle. Oh, that was a little bit too much, but let's hope it doesn't fuck up. I still have water remaining a lot, so you just want to do it a little bit by bit. And it's just all by feeling, man. I cannot tell you the exact amount. You just need to feel how it feels in your hands to determine if you want more water or more flour. If things get too sticky, you should add more flour. But as you can see, it's not sticking on my hand anymore. It's very flexible. And you want to do that for at least 5 minutes. The thing is called kneading. It's good for the bowl to do it like that for some time. You can do it in different ways. I do it with this part of my hand, but there are different ways you can do it. You can as well, if you're a joker. You can do it with 2 hands if you want, however you want. Just do it for like 5 minutes. Knead it like buba. I don't know how you knead buba's rozasha. So just a couple of minutes, it's gonna feel, I don't know, you can stop earlier if you want. If you want, you can give it more love if you want. But I think it's pretty much ready at this point. Now, you want to form the dough in a bowl. So, the way I do it is, you start, like, I mean, there is no easy way for me to explain it to you. I can just show it you in front of the camera, but you just have to feel it. So I start like this. I'm pressing one side to become like a bow and putting the rest on the bottom. And when this feels good, I grab the bottom and I start pinching it. See? And then flatten it and it's done. Voila. Ideally you don't want to have anything here. It needs to be flat. Now, last part. I'm gonna grab a bowl. You wanna grab some oil, whatever oil you want, sunflower or olive oil, doesn't matter. And before you put it in the bowl, you wanna coat it a little bit. And coat it a decent amount, not a lot. You just want to have oil everywhere around the bowl. It's important so the bowl doesn't go dry when it's rising. So I'll start with this amount. I think I need a little bit more on the bottom. And you put it. You can put it in a bigger bowl if you want. And you're gonna put something on top. I'm gonna put a plate. You can go with a towel, you can go with paper if you want, however you want, you can cover it. And that's it. After that, it sits like that for minimum 2 hours. You can go up to 3, up to 4. The more you go, the more it's gonna be. I wouldn't suggest you to go more than 3 hours because it's gonna start separating too much. It's gonna not become very easy to play with. So I would suggest you between 2 and 3 hours, and that's it. Before you finish, instantly clean this shit because you're gonna be using it for the pizza after. First you need to dry up your pan. Since you cleaned it during the dough making, just dry it up. And first thing we're gonna do, we're gonna make the sauce. So I'm gonna use this thing. You could use any type of tomatoes. You could use tomato sauce, tomato puree. It says here it's a passated. I've never tried those, so it's gonna be a first time. Hope it doesn't fail me. But usually you want it to be like a little bit in a type of like liquid consistency, not like chopped tomatoes or something. Yep. Oh, that's pretty thick, boy. That's pretty thick. Look at that. Oh la la. That is a bit too thick for what I'm planning to use here. I guess a little bit more. I'm gonna add a little bit of water to this. Okay, so you might not need the entire tomato sauce, but how much I've added in this cup is less than half. I would say probably 1/3 or less than 1/3, around 1/3. And I added a little bit of water so I make it just a little bit easier, a bit more liquidy, so it's easier to spread. Now, this is your tomato sauce for the pizza. You're gonna add some spices now. First, and this is your choice, but I usually do them all by eye, but I guess I can give you some basic measurements maybe. If I have a spoon like that, if not, then I don't. Well, sugar first. I'm gonna be generous on the sugar, because tomatoes are usually sour. I'm gonna go with an entire teaspoon of sugar here. And potentially might add more as well, but teaspoon of sugar for now. Salt. I'm gonna start with half a teaspoon and might go even more. Half a teaspoon of salt. Black pepper. I cannot tell you about black pepper, but you should be generous. So let's see how much we're gonna fit on a spoon. Honestly, I'm gonna go entire teaspoon of black pepper here. There we go. Next, going to be garlic. I have dry garlic. You can go with fresh garlic if you want, but if you're lazy, you can go with dry garlic. I'm gonna go half a teaspoon on that. Two more spices we need. Let's see if I can find them. Oregano. You want to be generous on the oregano as well. Probably a teaspoon as well. And the last spice is basilic, or in English, basil. It's pretty leafy, so you can go for a teaspoon as well on basil. And when you put all of this in the cup, it might look like it's a lot because you're putting it in 1/3 of a cup, but that's fine because everything is gonna be spread on the pizza. Now, for you to be sure the sauce is ready, you need to give it a little taste. The sauce needs to have stingy taste when it comes to sugar and salt. It needs to be above what you feel comfortable. Because when you add it to the pizza, it's gonna neutralize with the dough. I would say it's good on salt. I would probably add just a little bit more sugar. Not much. Maybe like half a teaspoon more. That's fine. Yeah. I would say this is, so I'm feeling now, the sauce is so sweet that it's uncomfortable for me. But that's how exactly you want. You can go less sweet if you want, but I think that's the proper way. Now, this is the part where you put your oven. Start your oven. What is a stingy taste? A stingy taste size, when you put it on your tongue, you feel uncomfortable when it comes to saltness level and sweetness level. Like, you're not gonna start eating that because it's uncomfortable and sweet and salty. That's what I mean. But that's how you need it to have. Now, let me see if I can put you down the camera a little bit. You wanna put the oven on max, man. We're going 300 degrees, and my oven specifically can only reach 300 degrees Celsius, only with the option of top radiator, which is called the grilling option. If you have more, put more. If you have 400, put 400. But if you have minimum 300, I'll go with that. Now, this is the grill. We don't need a timer because we're gonna eye it. I can't give you a timer. You need to feel the pizza, man. Now, while this is heating up, because you wanna put the pizza on a preheated oven. While this is heating up, now we're gonna spread the dough. This is the most tricky part that you're gonna need to practice, my good sir. So, here is the dough, it's risen. The bowl has become bigger. Before you start, you wanna put a generous amount of flour on your pan because you don't want it to stick when you're doing this. Let me remove this real quick. Generous so far this, I might add more depending on how it feels. And now, pick up the bowl carefully. You're gonna put the bowl here. And I'm gonna do it slowly. So what you're gonna do is, you're gonna press it a little bit. Now, you're gonna pick it up a little bit and see what I'm creating the edge. It needs to be like a finger thick. And you go like this all the way. You do it with your thumbs on the front and your index finger in the back. Of course, if you do it faster, it's not gonna stay like that so much. Until you get an entire finger of border. Then you bring it back down. And you spread the center towards the outer side like this. So you flatten it out more. Now, when you get to this point, you put both of your hands and you want your middle finger and your other three fingers to be at the edge of the corner here. See? And now you spread them like, and you turn. This is the slow version of the move. See how I'm spreading it? That's pretty much all you need. You don't need any more advanced tricks. You can also spread it in the air like that, a little bit if you want. This is a bit more dangerous because you can tear it. I wouldn't advise you to try it in your first try, but you could also pull it like that with the gravity a little bit. I cannot spin it, so don't ask. But if you feel like there is a little bit too much power, you can just toss it a little bit down. I'm even gonna toss a little bit away from the pan because I added a little bit too much. And you just spread it till the edge. See this part here? This is almost gonna tear. If you get a part like that, try to not put your fingers there. Just go on just pressure the other parts more. You have to have a feeling about it, you know? So this is it. Now, you put the sauce. You can do it with a spoon, you can do it with a bigger thing if you want. I'm just gonna go with a spoon. Don't put the entire sauce though, 1/3, because it might be too much. And you don't want to have your pizza overflowing with sauce. Trust me. I'm gonna put like half for now. You just spread it with circular motions. Very important to get to the edge here, because that's gonna make your crust more tasty for you to eat. Don't overflow the edge, but try to get to the edge and leave it like a couple of millimeters like that. I'm gonna adjust a little bit more on this side. And this is the amount of sauce that is going to be ideal. If you put more than this, your pizza is going to feel too saucy. Trust me, I know from experience. Make it like this one time. If you want more saucy, you can do it another time. Now, time to pull out the cheeses. We're making it 2 Bulgarian cheese style pizza. We need this for the yellow, and we need a fork for the sirene, white. So this is a big cube of white cheese they put here. It's not cut up. See, this is what Bulgarian white cheese looks like. I'm going to cut a good amount, like this much. This is probably around 100 grams, maybe a little bit more, I'm not sure. And there is the small piece here. So this Bulgarian white cheese sirene you wanna crumble it. I crumble it with a fork. It's pretty soft, so for crumbling. You don't want to completely destroy it. You want to leave it in little crumbs like that. Like little snowflakes. And now, you spread it. Very important. Whatever you put on a pizza, is very important to focus on putting on the edge. Because the center is always the tasty part, but you want to make the edges the tasty. So you always want to prioritize having things on the edge. I would say this is probably enough, but I'm gonna finish adding it because I already crumbled it. And if you didn't hit the edge, you're gonna move it to the edge. Very important for things to get to the edge or the border. There we go. That is a little bit too much cheese, but it is what it is. It's gonna be a cheese pizza. Second cheese, we call it kashkaval, it's the yellow. You kind of want to add around 100 grams of it as well. Just start rendering it on top and start again from the edge. And just keep going around. You don't want to overflow with anything you put on the pizza. If you see it has a layer already, one layer, that's enough. And now we're going to add a secret ingredient, 1 egg. Let me just spread the yellow cheese a little bit. Okay, this is a very outside of the box egg adding. Pay attention now. You need to break the egg in your hand and siphon it on the pizza with your hand. So, look now. I haven't done this in 5 years probably, so let's see if I don't fail. So you're gonna break the egg and you wanna put it in your hand. And now you wanna siphon it on top of the pizza a little bit by bit. You can do it in a bowl as well if you want. But trust me, this is the righteous way, my good people. The reason why you shouldn't do it in a bowl is because the way the egg consistency is, if you turn the bowl, all of the egg kinda goes down at the same time. You cannot control it. That's why you wanna do it with hand, man. And that's it. Now we put it inside and we're gonna wait. You can put it either top or bottom. I'm gonna start with top for now. And I'm gonna give you a POV of the oven. Hang me in Italy for garlic. Garlic is an important spice in the tomato sauce, my good sir. And yeah, we could potentially make a pineapple pizza next time. But you don't have to add the egg if you want to. I'm just telling you as a secret ingredient that is gonna really levitate the pizza taste for you. I'm gonna wait now. I'm gonna show you how it becomes complete. I would say that probably in 300 degrees it would maybe take you 10 minutes for the pizza. But I do it on ISO. I do have a leftover a little bit from the tomato sauce in the cup. I have like a couple of spoons, but I'm not gonna use it because it's very rich on taste. And I'm not looking to use it for anything besides pizza. You can mix it if you want with other tomato sauce, but since I'm not planning to use tomato anytime soon, I'll just wash it over. Oh man, I'm getting that pizza smell, man. Oh, we're gonna have a feast tonight, man. Here they usually put the egg in the middle. You could definitely try with the middle, but again, the problem that I have with putting stuff on the middle is it is going to be more presentable and beautiful, that's for sure. But it still makes the middle part the most enjoyable, and it's not leaving the edges to be the enjoyable, which is important for me for the edges to be enjoyable. Add some wiener. You could definitely add wiener to this pizza or any type of meat. You could add chicken, you can add pepperoni, you can add any type of ham, bacon. It will be perfect combo, but I just don't have at the moment. And I don't want to make my pizza very caloric. I would say with these ingredients here, this pizza is around 1600 calories. With the egg as well. So I'm gonna eat half, which is 800, which is quite a lot. So that's why I don't wanna add too many ingredients. Also, a tip that I'll give you if you add your own ingredients into a pizza, I would suggest you to not go above 4. I would say 3 is a pretty good middle ground. But if you add more than 4, it's just going to be way too many flavors that you wouldn't be able to appreciate more singular flavors. So in this case we have three stuff. 2 cheeses and an egg. And maybe you can add 1 meat on top as well. But if you go like 5 or more, I feel like it becomes too much of a mix between everything, and I don't know. I like for you to be able to feel specific flavors more. Right, the top is actually starting to look pretty good at the moment. And it could be potentially ready as well, actually. Let me give a little bit of a look. Generally, you don't want to open this very often, but I'm gonna give it a quick look right now. And you're gonna wanna prepare either of 1 or 2 instruments. One of them is gonna be a big flat knife, or the pincers, whatever you prefer. And the most important thing to know if a pizza is ready is the bottom. So you want to check if the bottom is cooked. So oh, the knife is not, but wait a sec. Let me get a little bit harder position. You want to feel with the knife if this is, see how that sounds? This is good, but I'm gonna leave it just a little bit more. Oh. I'm actually gonna put it a little bit on the bottom, just a little bit more, maybe 2 minutes, and it's done. You want the bottom to feel solid, like it's not gonna get any more brown than this because you're doing it in an oven. It's not like you're doing it in you know, in restaurants where they put the pizza on top of like a stone. That's how you get the good browning. In the oven condition, you won't be able to get that proper browning on the bottom. But as long as you feel that it's solid on the bottom, then it's good. What we did in the restaurant as well, in the restaurant, our oven was like a similar oven, but it went up to 500 degrees and a lot bigger, like a industrial oven or something. There, the metal would be so hot inside, we would just take the pizza and throw it on the metal for 10 seconds and pull it back. And that's how we got a browning if we didn't like the browning. But yeah, with ovens like that you have at home, it's not gonna be perfect. And also, if you want to throw it, you need to have, you know, these pizza shovels. I wouldn't suggest you to throw it without such a thing, because you won't be able to pick it up. Yeah, it's done. Now, you want to cut it. Ideally, you want to put the pizza on a big wooden cutting board around, but I don't have that. So I'm just going to do the cutting like a plate in the pan, which is going to be harder. It's going to be a lot easier if you have this too. It's like a round knife. Or like a big knife which you can put some pressure on. I'm still going to use the knife for the edges, but and since one of my pizza parts broke here when I was checking on it, I'm going to start from there, from the broken part. Where was it? Here. So I'm going to start cutting from here. And you go in a straight line by pushing the knife as well. Like pressuring on the bottom, towards the bottom, that's what I mean. And now I'm gonna finish this is not allowing me to finish the cutting, I'm just gonna cut the small pieces like that with the knife on the edge. If you don't have the round thing, you just go like that, as straight as possible. And there we go. Voila. There's some righteous pizza, boys.